ReactJS is a JavaScript library. You might have heard it referred to as a framework. Basic ReactJS isn't, it's just a library. ReactJS is often used with React Router DOM to provide a routing system for your web pages or your web apps, and this would provide more of a framework for development, but at its core, ReactJS is just a library that works like a templating system. A templating system like Pug or Jade, but more robust. What that means is, you create a general model, what React calls components, and you feed custom data into these components, what React calls props. Then React will render HTML to the user based on the props and how the models say the props should be displayed. And so with a combination of components and props, you can write highly reusable code, components, and have your web page or app be a lot more dynamic in what it renders to the user, what the user sees on their screen. Let's talk about those props. Props are data that you pass around in your ReactJS app. Like normal HTML, ReactJS is structured like a tree. That's to say a parent-child arrangement. However, instead of a bottom-up or root-to-branch image, think of a top-down family tree image. This is important because in order to get data to a specific child or component, the parent component of that child needs to pass on that data. If the parent of that child component doesn't have the data, but the parent's parent does, meaning the grandparent, then the grandparent component has to send the data to the parent component before the parent component can send the data to the child component. Just remember, props always trickle down, not up, and you can't skip branches in the tree. So if props only trickle down, then how would a child pass data back up to the parent? Well, props don't just have to be data, they can also be functions. So if a parent passes its child a function and that child executes that function executes from the parent's level. Think of it like a carrier pigeon that's given to the child from the parent. And when the child has something to say to the parent, it uses the pigeon.